I know all the talk has been about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and their rivalry, but I'm not so sure the biggest rivalry won't be the Fever and the Sun. You also have the Liberty and the Aces, not to, take away from the defending champs and the champs before them. So let's make sure we give them the proper shout out. But just because of all the storylines surrounding the Sun and the Fever, most notably, the Sun's coach, Stephanie White, left the team to join the Fever after the Sun beat the Fever in the playoffs, after the Sun and Fever had a bunch of heated matchups during the WNBA season. And part of the WNBA schedule release was a featured game between the Sun and the Fever in Boston, in TD Garden, of all places. DJ Carrington had previously taken to the streets to tease this happening. The Sun is back at TD Garden. That was a post from the Connecticut Sun. They had that big time game, I think, against the Sparks there last year. And there was some hype around that. A bunch of the Celtics came up to show out. But it was also revealed that the game this year in Boston will be against the Fever, which means it'll be on TV. Remember the talk last year? It wasn't on TV. And Aliyah Boston is pumped about playing in Boston. I can't wait to play in the Garden. Fire emojis. I know Boston is going to show out again. Of course, this natural excitement couldn't come without some blowback from the crybaby bullies that cover the WNBA, who act as if the Fever fan base brings the ominous vibes everywhere they go. Obviously, also with some of the reputation from Boston. And a lot of people were saying, oh, but why would you schedule the Sun against the Fever of all teams? You know why. Stop crying about it. You know why. And people want to see it. It's exciting. I mean, talk about crying. The graphic, I think it was on Thanksgiving or the day before. Basically, the Fever had shared a graphic of what was an Aliyah Boston block against Janae Carrington. And of course, obviously, Carrington is not the favorite player of Indiana Fever fans. And she has very publicly said what she feels about Fever fans. And I know Dejanay just suffered a loss in her family, a grandparent. So condolences to her, of course, on that. I'm talking about what took place on the basketball court. And you saw a bunch of reaction from people saying, oh, this was poor choice that they showed a block of Boston on Dejanay Carrington. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. That's sports. That's hype. Leaning into rivalries, leaning into matchups. No one could possibly be that soft, except for some of the people who cover or follow the WNBA, because everything has to be a controversy. Everything has to be something to cry or complain or shame someone about. And I'm sorry, I think people are just going to be hyped for the Sun playing the Fever in Boston. And it's good for the Connecticut Sun, by the way. They're the team that needs the shine, not Caitlin Clark's squad in Indiana. They're the team that needs the extra attention, the extra momentum, all those things. And it's going to be tough for them with as many free agents as they have, and obviously losing their coach. So for them to be on the marquee, everybody should be happy that the spotlight is going to shine on the Sun. Of course, thanks to the Indiana